What's up, everybody? MC here, and I am going to show you the Injora LCG vehicle that we put together right here. We had a lot of parts that they pieced together for us, and we put it together. No instructions, and we're going to tell you what we learned, because we learned a lot, and then we're going to take it out for a run, okay? All right, Injora, they have a very popular body, IR60, I think it's called. They have popular axles that are Capra-style axles with that ram-style steering. So really cool, and they have a lot of parts. They have a lot of links. They have a chassis that's already kind of mostly built, and you can put it together. It's not sold as a one-piece kit yet, but maybe they'll do it in the future. That was our request to them. But given what they have, we put it together, and I'll show you what I learned. But first, I'm going to show you how it compares to other vehicles of a similar style. So this is the Injora right here. This is a leafer from Northwest Scalar Designs with an RC four-wheel drive body. As you can see, this body is much more performance-oriented, all bobbed and dovetailed, front and rear. Dovetailed means it's kind of angled for clearances, and bob means shorter bed. But as you can see, we're having problems with the tire clearance because we're using 4.8-inch tires. So I think we're better off using what's in here, like a 4.3-inch tire, class 1, 4.2. And another vehicle, beautiful vehicle, right? Leaf springs from, what do you call that, Twisted Fab. By the way, RC four-wheel drive now makes springs that are tuned. You know how RC four-wheel drive springs are way too stiff? Now they make tuned, kind of inspiration from Twisted Fab, and they're cheap. So maybe we'll have a review on that as well. Here it is compared to an LCG, low center of gravity vehicle from G-Speed. So very similar. And the difference here is you just get this all from Injora, and this you have to piece together from different parts. But as you can see, the body here is minimalist. That way you have all your tire clearances and you can run big tires. But I've had this for a few years, so cool. There's also that Red Cat vehicle, LCG, that is pretty competitive. But it came together pretty nicely, okay? So the highlight of this thing is the body. The body is magnet mounted, and you could buy this for your SCX-10-3. It just mounts to the chassis, kind of like a bolt-on already. And it's pivot mounted, opens, keeps its place. And it has magnets here in front. The only thing is, every time you crash, it's gonna open up a little bit. You could definitely use stronger magnets if you want. But here it is, came together, had a lot of extra parts. The main thing I'll tell you about the build is it's not a kit. So you're on your own, but they have all the parts. So you can put it together and it all fits together. Okay, some figuring out what to do. There's no instructions yet. So I'm encouraging to do one-stop shop, click, and boom, it all gets shipped to you. And they just have to provide instructions. Right now, they don't have instructions, and they don't have to guarantee that everything fits, but it does fit. But you have to figure it out yourself. So I had Randy build it for us, and he did a great job as usual. And a few comments, a few build notes. One is there's no captured bolts. Everything has to have a nut on the other side, so that was kind of a pain. Even on the axles, you needed a nut on the other side. So the chassis, understandable since it's a carbon fiber chassis, but axles, everything, put a nut on the other side, so get used to that. And then another thing was it's a 3-link in the front. So the links come with, the chassis comes with 4 links, servo mount, axle mounted servo, but so you'll come up with a lot of extra parts because it gives you options on how to build it. but 3-link with a pan hard bar right here, so it kind of angles as you depress it. The shocks, I was reading about it because they're $30, so cheap, and they were so smooth, but there was no oil in them. A couple drops of oil, so I put 90 weight oil on the rear and 70 in the front. It works pretty good. And then one major complaint is the spur gear is metal, and I'm not sure if you know this, but metal spur gear with a metal pinion makes a lot of noise. It sounds like your drivetrain is rough, but it's really just the metal to metal on the spur gear. And with a hard body, it amplifies, just like a guitar case, amplifies that noise. So it was annoying. The front axle and the rear axle, they're Capra width, so they're very wide. You end up with a wide vehicle for a kind of a small body, but it was hitting over here, where the 2 links are, hitting the tire. Very, very nice angles on these axles. And so that got that hammer style inspired double linked steering arm. Okay. Servo is nice and fast for sure, and powerful. So I had to do some offset on the tire, a different hub carrier to give it some clearance. And there's a brass weight in the hub already, even though it's not a portal, and it's removable, so good for tuning. But my test run is not going to have any brass whatsoever except for what came in the axle. So it was just that I tried to do it a little lower, and my main problem is it was hitting the body. When it was compressed, it would catch, hit the body, and boom, it would kind of take off on me. So that's kind of the issue. But yeah, look at it. It's came together nicely. You have so much adjustability on the shock placement. The links, the rod ends were kind of a soft plastic, so it could be better because the soft plastic, it has play with a pivot ball. It's not the most durable, and low clearance links, high clearance links on the rear, but not the front. Drive shaft, metal drive shaft, pretty nice. What I put as a motor is the Hobbywing Fusion SE. So cheaper one, and you can see it's plenty nice with 3S battery, and it's got some pop to it, good modulation. Let's go for a test drive in our standard course. First, I want you to see the descending. It's got good control. Drivetrain is tight, axles are tight. Good motor. Modulation is nice. Everything's tight. It's got a little bit of punch when you need it. Just a Hobbywing Fusion SE motor running 3S. After this, we're going to turn the sound down. Now that you have an idea. Alright, so bear in mind, these are unknown tires to us. No brass weights on wheels, so they're not the stickiest tires that we know of. And the conditions are dusty, midsummer dusty on these rocks. So unknown conditions, but look at that. It's that was a hard entry, and it did it. And right here, the axles are actually too wide to fit this slot, so it can do it. Just takes a lot of time, and I forgot to catch it. Smack that body. And right here, little ridge line. Very good side hilling ability. So the wide axles, slow center gravity. It's quite good for box stock. No tuning whatsoever, very little tuning. And you can see every time the suspension bottoms out, it hits the body, so that needs to be fixed. Here's a steep one. Good steering angle. Grab to the left, up and over. So it's doing all the good things. And bear in mind, this is the first run. It's a hard body, unknown tires, no brass in the wheels. But yeah, it sits pretty nicely. Just put some heavy shock oil. messing up our course. So I have a question for you guys. Some of our friends get super upset that we're stacking rocks. They say the rock stacking is cheating. How do you guys feel about that? Because without stacking rocks, you're looking for natural obstacles. And stacking rocks is actually the same as building a course. So what's the difference? Where do you draw the line when stacking rocks to cheat or building a course rather than relying on completely natural terrain, which is there's not a lot of? So let me know in the comments. And finally, I'll close up with some rallying. Nice balance on this guy on loose terrain. Not a bad rig. What do you guys think? I think it's a first step for Injora that they can offer these vehicles. But another comment I'll make is that it's kind of expensive. It's not expensive in the sense it's $550 for tires, body, everything, complete chassis. But it could be cheaper, because Injora, that's what they bring to the market, right? They now have the quality. They're pretty good as components. But when you buy something like this, you're giving them a kind of margin on every single piece, on the tires, on the chassis, on the body. So everything has a margin, so it adds up to $550. It would be nice if they can sell this whole kit for $399 or maybe $450, because it's one sale. Make money on one sale, and that's should be a decent margin for them. But as it is, you're paying margin on every single component. But yeah, look at that. Smooth drivetrain. Pretty tight, not a lot of play. So pretty stoked with it. A lot of more tuning is possible. Definitely get rid of the binding, do some shock tuning. But let me run you some running video, and let me know what you think in the comments. Also, I have a lot of running video on that NWSD vehicle that I have, and that G-Speed that I have. So pretty stoked. Next steps, we will fix these lights, fix the driver's bob back and forth, because they're spring loaded. They definitely fix the clearances on this guy, and we'll take it out again. But maybe I'll put some brass too, and put some tires that we know perform. These tires are kind of a great unknown. I thought they were kind of sticky in the beginning, and but definitely all the stickiness is gone now that it's covered with dust. All right, and they're not necessarily the softest tires out there. All right, guys, thanks a ton.